Hello. What I wanted to do is show you some tie-outs, how you can put them on a survival blanket like this. They do not come with grommets and such, and you have to be careful with this material because it will shred pretty easily. So I'm going to go over with some tape as well as a button method where you use a stone, piece of wood, many things you can use for a button method, but I'll go over both of them and show you how easily they can be done and how quickly. First off, what I'm going to do is I'm going to prepare my cordage. And what I want to do is put a slip knot on this. Now I use the Canadian jam knot, some people call it. And what you do is just loop that around like that and put it through. That's going to create your knot. There you go. Now this, what that does is your slip knot's going to jam against that and it's not going to be able to pull through. To make your slip knot, you go around again, make that same bite and go around this way and in through that hole. So basically you're just going around and through this hole, but you want to make sure that knot goes through. So you have this. Basically the same thing you did up here, but around the rope. And then when you pull it tight, it's like this. Now, when you tighten this, this will pull back and jam against that knot. This one here is going to work pretty good because it's bank line, but that's why it's called a Canadian jam knot. That's my first step. And I can have these pre-made in a kit, so all I have to do is grab that, throw a stone in, and put it tight. So I'm going to show you the button method, I call it, and show you how easily that is done. So there's my space blanket there. This has not been opened yet. You do not want to get any like snags or anything on this stuff. It will rip very easily. What it reminds me of is chip bag material. There we go. We've got it out now. So if this was my corner, what I have in my pocket I collected on the way in. And I have a smooth stone with no sharp edges. And I also have a spruce cone. And what I'm going to do with that is I'm going to take the spruce cone, put it in underneath. And then I'm going to gather up like this with this in underneath, hold it tight, put my slip knot over and tighten that up. And this here is good for any type of tarp. And it holds, in my opinion, the best of any. Because that cannot come out of there unless the knot would have to be able to pull over this, and it can't. So it's the strength of the material itself. So that would be your tie-out right there. It's that simple. Now you can do that with stones, you can do that with a piece of wood. I've done it with wood. Cut a 3/4 inch piece of wood and round the edges and put that in. It works great. It works many different ways. And this here, and then you just tie this to a tree or whatever you like. But that's how simple the button method is. Now, I'll give you a look at that again. So I just slip that underneath and I'll open it up. And there it is. So I'm grabbing, you know, a good amount, putting it in there. So then I know that the whole thing here underneath is covered. It's not, you know, like this here where some of it's showing and so on. You want to make sure the whole thing is covered and it goes underneath like that. And then put it over and under it. And now that there is going to be one of your strongest tie-outs that you can get on a tarp. So like I said, this is very quick and very simple, but that's that stone. You do the same thing. Put the stone in, gather it up underneath, and put your cord underneath and tighten it. Same thing. so you can use many materials. Now I'm going to show you how you'd use tape. It's windy out here today as well. I'm kind of out of the wind, but it's also showering. So I've got my tape here, and what I want to do is I'm going to cut about a 6-inch piece. So, well, that's actually about 8 inches. So I'm going to drop that quickly and just cut that off. There we go. Now, there's many ways to do this. I can cut another piece of tape and put along in here as well. And so then it won't be sticky. And I've done that if I'm going to have prolonged, tie out points. But this here is basically if you was in an emergency and you just needed something quick, this is a way to do it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it right in the middle and just kind of press that down like that. There you go. And now I'm going to show you what I'll do with the rest. Got to hang on to this without making it stick to anything until I get this. Okay, this is the long end right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that straight out like this. I've got that taped on like that. Like I said, this is going to be a little difficult because of the wind. But I've got that on like that, and now I can take the other piece and bring it over and tape that onto the other side. Like that. And now I've got a spot. This is quick and simple. There's many ways to do this, but this is just simple. And I've got a spot I can put cordage through and tie out. And I had to get this straightened out here. Give me a second. It's right here. I made it straight out like this instead of on an angle, so it's just putting pressure straight across, and then I can tie this out. I'll move back like this here. And whenever you tie these, just put them taut. Do not tie them, out really far, because it puts too much pressure on them. But that there would hold great. So I hope those 2 tips can help somebody, especially in an emergency. The button method is a proven method. I use it a lot and have over the years. This here, I've actually done this with packing tape on a clear plastic sheet, and I used that for a couple years as a hammock, tarp, and it worked really well for me. But after having other people around and such, and they'd be walking along and trip over the guidelines and stuff, well, they started ripping off, of course. But they've worked really well with the tape on them like this. That there will hold very good, and it will most likely, the plastic will rip way before this will come off in this case for sure. Hope you like this, and thanks for watching.